I'd like to call to order the November meeting of the Oak Ridge Board of Education. If you would please stand as our Navy Junior ROTC Wildcat Company presents our colors, and then we will have the pledge to the flag. Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And you may be seated. I know we were left to the right sometimes. That's all right. Yes. Next on the agenda is the actual approval of the agenda. Do I hear a motion? Motion made by Ms. Webb, seconded by Ms. McLean. Any additions or corrections to the agenda? Hearing none, please cast your vote. Oh, there we go. That's interesting. Well, our new board members are voting and didn't even know it. The agenda is approved unanimously. Next, we move to the public forum. The public forum is for anyone who would like to address a topic that is not on the agenda. You may, sorry, we're not quite there yet. You'll just have to forgive me. Actually, we're going to go to special reports and presentations. Dr. Hartman.
Good evening. I have good news from Glenwood Elementary. Glenwood served 45 students over fall intersession as they experienced a wide variety of careers. They learned about zoology, banking, firefighting, field scientists, law enforcement, performing artists, and how to be an author or an illustrator. Students learned how to create and operate through an intercession economy. The connections to our real world and support from the community made these sessions great. We were able to celebrate our National Blue Ribbon Award with a PTO-sponsored carnival on October 24. The event was attended by students, families, alumni, and staff. It was a tremendous success filled with smiles and celebrations for everyone involved.
Thank you. Ms. Webb.
We have good news from Willowbrook. The Willowbrook staff had a fantastic time participating in our annual Fall Festival. We were thrilled to see such a great turnout of students and families. Students had a blast taking part in a variety of games. earning prizes and candy along the way. The competition was especially intense for the first ever chili cook-off, which added even more excitement to the event. A huge thank you to the amazing PTO for organizing this wonderful celebration. Willowbrook students and staff had an action-packed and educational experience during Nuclear Science Week. The Atomic Expo was an incredible event showcasing the work happening right here in Oak Ridge. Willowbrook students and staff had the opportunity to explore various fields of study through hands-on activities, gaining a deeper understanding of the science behind the work at ORNL. This week was capped off with the Muse coming to Willowbrook to work with all students. And on the morning of November 11th, Willowbrook hosted a Veterans Day breakfast to honor those who have served our country. Our dedicated PTO provided a special Chick-fil-A breakfast for veterans and families. It was a privilege to come together as a school community and show our appreciation for the sacrifices made by these amazing men and women. That's from Willowbrook.
Thank you. Ms. McLean.
Okay, I have good news from Jefferson, and I will apologize up front if I mispronounce one of these 12 names. We have 12 members of the Jefferson Orchestra who won audition seats in the 2024 East Tennessee SBOA Junior Clinic. Braxton Kanko, Anna Pickle, Ian Smith, Chloe Orff, Coco Plotho, Billy Sicardi, and Elena Nagel won seats in the Blue Orchestra. Ali Rodabon, Penelope Pointer, Gabrielle Widener, Zachary Hicks, and Winston Crowell won seats in the Red Orchestra. Congratulations.
Thank you. Ms. Agel.
And I have good news from Robertsville. Robertsville Middle School swept the middle school visual arts category in the statewide 2024 Mira Kimmelman Learning from the Holocaust contest, sponsored by the Tennessee Holocaust Commission and the Kimmelman family. Preston Reed won first place and a cash prize of $500 for his model of Auschwitz concentration camp where Mira Kimmelman was imprisoned in 1944. Second place and a cash prize of $300 went to Taylor Cowan, who sculpted a bust of Kimmelman paired with a trifold poster telling details of her journey through the Holocaust, which were recounted in Kimmelman's book, Echoes from the Holocaust. The third place winner was Ursula Weatherford, whose artistic depiction of a scene from Kimmelman's book earned her a $150 cash prize. Each student created the project as part of the Holocaust World War II project-based learning unit work in Dr. Julie Kinder McMillan's 8th grade English class. The students are now freshmen at Oak Ridge High School. The contest, in honor of the late Holocaust survivor Mira Kimmelman, who made her home in Oak Ridge, was started in 2021.
Thank you. My good news, I would like to ask Miss Lily Shelton to please come to the podium at this time. She's kind of getting used to this public appearance things. As you well know, if you've been paying attention, Lily was nominated from Oak Ridge High School as the student to receive the board Student Achievement Award, which she did. In receiving that, her name was sent on to Tennessee School Board Association to be recognized as the East District Student Recognition Achievement of the Year. She was selected as the East District Student of the Year. Then, from there, her name was sent back to Tennessee School Board Association, where she competed against 8 other students from across the state to be recognized as the Tennessee Student of the Year. Guess what? She won. Would you, Lily, please tell us what you won?
I won a $2,000 scholarship from the School Boards Association and then a $2,200 scholarship from Energy Solutions, which is their partner.
So she's kind of prepared, and just keep in mind, Drayton, she's just a junior. right?
I'm a senior.
You're a senior
Yeah.
now. Yeah, but when you submitted, you
Oh,
had to be a
yes.
junior.
Yes.
So she started out as a junior, so now you got to have her for her senior year as well. So, and she will graduate, won't she? Yeah. Lily, it's been a pleasure working with you, and I will tell you, we are proud of the way you represented Oak Ridge Schools and the community.
Thank you.
So we wish you the best wherever the next path takes you. I know it'll take you somewhere. So you can come back and sometime give us an update on how things are going.
I will.
So congratulations to you. Thank you for
Thank
being
you.
here tonight.
Thank you.
Also, while we were at the Tennessee School Board Association convention, we picked up another award, and I'm going to turn to Dr. Borchers for this.
Yeah, very good. Congratulations again to Lily. And at this awards banquet, Lily won her award, and the very next award was another Oak Ridge Schools award. I think people were, I'm not sure if they appreciated us or not having back-to-back awards, but there's only one award that Lily won, and then there's only one statewide Excellence in Education award given out, and we won for Wildcat Manufacturing. So just a brief for our viewers out there, Wildcat Manufacturing is a year-long capstone course that functions as a student-run, work-based learning small business offering advanced design, manufacturing, and automation services for local businesses, organizations, and individuals. And you saw tonight 2 awards that were done in that Wildcat Manufacturing. So congratulations to them.
Thank you very much. Yeah, there were some, as I've said before, there were probably some school districts that were a little upset, but we like that. Okay, now we're going to go to the public forum. The public forum is for anyone who would like to address a topic that is not on the agenda. You may address a topic that is on the agenda when it is presented. Please raise your hand to be recognized. If you choose to address the board, you will have 3 minutes to speak. The board may or may not respond to your comments or may have the superintendent address your concerns. When you speak, please come to the podium and sign in, and then state your name and address for the board. Is there anyone who would like to address the board at this time? Alex, y'all come right on up.
Alex Myers, 107 Tracy Lane.
Jeremy Mitchell, 118 Arizona Road.
First off, thank you for giving us a few minutes of your time. 2 Oak Ridge graduates here, so proud to be here and appreciative for all that you guys continue to do and have done. Just wanted to take a moment to introduce ourselves. Aaron Webb and Sean Summers have done a just incredible job, tremendous job over the last 5-6 years of kind of rehabilitating the Boys and Girls Club in town. Aaron, as you probably know, is on her way out of that role, and Sean Summers left earlier in the year, so Jeremy is taking over as the program director at the club. He's been there since June, and I am taking over as a CEO for Aaron, and I'm officially taking that position. Aaron's still helping out a little bit, probably more than she wants to, but we're definitely appreciative for that. So we're just here to introduce ourselves. I know that we recognize a lot of faces, some of the elementary school teachers, the principals that help us get kiddos at the end of the day, and I know that Jeremy goes to Jefferson as well. So just wanted to introduce ourselves and let you guys know that we are here if there's anything we can do. Obviously, you guys do a tremendous job without us doing anything, but we want to be a community partner. And our goal is not just to help kids come down and find a place to play a sport, but truly be a place to grow as roundabout as a young adult, and as they get to high school and into adulthood, really create well-rounded individuals. So if there's anything that you guys see as a school board, as administrators, from preschool, we take them when they're 5. So from preschool, all the way up until high school, if there's any need that you see in the community that we could help out with or be of assistance for that's not being met, please know that our door is always open and that we are more than happy and willing to do anything we can to help you guys as well.
Like Alex says, it's an honor to be able to do work in the community just as you guys do. And we would love to collaborate with everybody, with all the schools. We have open doors for everybody, and we would love for us to have a healthy relationship so that we can grow with our community more and build well-rounded young people to come back and give back to that community as well. And being a part of it, growing up in Oak Ridge and going to the Boys Club, I really have a passion for the club, and I really would like to elevate where we are from now. Even though Erin has done a great job, we would love to do better. Not to dim her light, because I don't think we can, but she's done an amazing job, and we would like to continue that and just continue to help the community.
Thank both of you for being here, and I would emphasize the relationship with the schools and the Boys and Girls Club is very important in this community, and we too hope that it will continue to grow, because a lot of the kids, as you well know, when they leave our school buildings, some of them don't have anywhere to go. And what is provided at the Boys and Girls Club is very important in that relationship to help them grow and to give them the opportunities to be successful when they come back in our buildings. Thank you all for being here. The board will look forward to working with you in the future. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Next, we move to items for action. The first item is the extension of the superintendent's. Have I missed something again? Oh, well, maybe I should just go now. Okay, my mind is, as you might imagine, somewhere else. We're going to try next the consent agenda. Do I hear a motion?
Second.
Motion made by Dr. Hartman, seconded by Ms. Agle. Are any comments or questions? Ms. McLean.
I just wanted to let everybody know that on the consent agenda, we're approving a Oak Ridge High School percussion ensemble trip to Dayton, Ohio, the Robertsville TSA to Chattanooga, and the Oak Ridge High School cross-country to Hendersonville, Tennessee. We appreciate the staff taking their time to take the kids on such great trips.
Perfect, thank you. Please cast your vote. When technology works, it's great. When it doesn't, we should just raise our hand. Here we go. Consent agenda passes unanimously. Now we're going to move to items for action. The first item there is the extension of the superintendent's contract. The Board of Education goes through a process in helping us make this decision. You've heard me speak of this, but it'll be just a reminder for those watching. The board does an evaluation of the superintendent where we evaluate, and then the superintendent specifies to us in certain categories what has been accomplished and what his goals are. Once that has taken place and each board member has had a chance to review that, then there is a time where members of the board can meet with the superintendent and discuss the evaluation if they choose to do that. Then once that is done, that brings us to tonight's meeting, where we will be voting on the extension of the superintendent's contract. By law, the superintendent can be under contract only for a 4-year period. So what this extension does is he's at his 3 years remaining, so an extension of a year would put it back at 4 years, and that's all as a board we can do. So, are there any board members, before we get a motion and move with this, have any comments they'd like to make at this point in time? I've already said I do, but I'll save myself till last. Ms. Agel.
Dr. Borchers, we appreciate your dedication to continuous improvement in the school system. I agree with Keys, going across the state. I don't think there is a better system anywhere in the state. A lot of that is due to the work that you and your staff do, that you always have a good attitude, that you are always welcoming of suggestions, but that you implement. Look at that wall right there. That's what we're doing. Thank you.
Anyone else? Dr. Borchers, when I turn to you in a minute, I know what you're going to say. I guess we've been doing this for a long time. We know that. You're going to say how important it is to have a good team. And it is very important. The process of putting that team together is a leadership skill that not all leaders have. And you are a wizard at best doing that, because the people that we have in place and will soon have in place on the administrative staff are just amazing individuals at what they do. And you know, we hear and we say as board members how important it is that our focus is only on what is best for students. That's your focus, and that's the focus of the team that you have, not just from the administrative staff here at central office, but all the administrators in our school buildings across the district. Getting the right people in the right place is very important. I remember you telling the board at that time when you were hired, the first thing you wanted to do was to listen when you became superintendent, and you did. And since that time, you have made changes. Sometimes changes are hard, but when changes are needed to be made, you step up and you make those changes for the best interest of our school district, and that is greatly appreciated. The vision, and Ms. Agel spoke to this, the vision that you have for where the Oak Ridge schools could go and how we were going to get there was laid out right in front of us. And our district was given the challenge. This will work if we can come together and collaborate and make this happen. And we have done that. But also, and I know you'll say this too, we still have ways to go. And we can go farther. We can get better. And with you at the helm, we will continue to do that. So I greatly appreciate the opportunity I've had to work with you. I will say, and leave it at this, we've had some interesting discussions over our time. Some good and some interesting, so we'll stay there. So thank you. So I'll first ask for a motion for the extension of the superintendent's contract.
Move for approval.
Motion made by Ms. Webb, seconded by Ms. Agel. Let's vote. Motion passes unanimously. Dr. Borchers.
Just, you said everything I was going to say. You had it exactly right. I appreciate it and appreciate you, Keys. And it's an extraordinary evening tonight with your last meeting, but I appreciate working for this board. with this community. It starts at the top with the board, allowing us to do these things, and then it's all these people in these seats that make this happen. So I'm blessed to work with some incredibly talented people. So thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you. Moving on to item B is the FY25 comparability report. Dr. Borchers.
Mr. Chairman, I recommend approval of the FY25 comparability report.
Per the superintendent's recommendation, do I hear a motion? Motion made by Dr. Hartman, seconded by Ms. McLean. Dr. Borchers.
Dr. Williams has quite a few items on tonight, so I'm going to let her take a couple of these. So Dr. Williams, can you share a little bit about this one?
This is a yearly report for us, just ensuring that the funds we use for Title I are above and beyond our regular budget.
Comments or questions from the board? Hearing none, please cast your vote. Motion passes unanimously. Item C, FY25 Tennessee Investment in Student Achievement Report. This is the TISA report. Dr. Borchers.
Mr. Chairman, I recommend approval of the FY25 Tennessee Investment in Student Achievement Report.
Per the superintendent's recommendation, do I hear a motion? Motion made by Ms. Webb, seconded by Dr. Hartman. Dr. Borchers.
As you can see from the memo there, this is just one mechanism the Tennessee Department of Education uses to ensure accountability with the TISA funding formula.
Comments or questions? Hearing none, please cast your vote. Motion passes unanimously. Item D, FY25 Math Implementation Support Grant Carryover. Dr. Borchers.
Mr. Chairman, I recommend approval of the FY25 Math Implementation Support Grant Carryover in the amount of $3,250.
Per the superintendent's recommendation, do I hear a motion?
Move for approval.
Motion made by Ms. Agel, seconded by Ms. McLean. Dr. Borchers.
I'm going to ask Dr. Williams to give a little information on this one.
These are the funds that we have left from a really wonderful math implementation grant. The bulk of the work has happened in our high school, and we've seen really positive instructional shifts happen in our algebra courses and throughout our whole math department. We've also been able to use these funds to learn more about instruction in both of our middle schools and some work in Willowbrook as well.
Comments or questions? Just a comment, and we as a board have, each of us have said this multiple times, but I just want to say it again. A lot of things that we're able to do, we couldn't do if we didn't have grants. Grants just don't show up on your doorstep saying, here is some money for you to use in this direction. It takes individuals, a time element, and a willingness to look and search to find this information. And as the board knows, it is certainly much appreciated to help us, again, support student learning with many of these grants that we get. So, please cast your vote. Motion passes unanimously. Item E, FY25 budget transfer number 1. This is a first reading. Second reading will be done the next board meeting in January. Dr. Borchers.
Mr. Chairman, I recommend approval of the FY25 budget transfer number 1, first reading.
Heard the superintendent's recommendation. Do I hear a motion?
Move for approval.
Motion made by Ms. Agel, seconded by Dr. Hartman. Dr. Borchers.
Yeah, these are just routine budget transfers and revisions from July 1 through November 11th, and you've got a list of those on your item, agenda item.
Comments or questions? Hearing none, please cast your vote. Motion passes unanimously. Item F, Board Policy 4.700, Testing Program. This is a first and second reading. Dr. Borchers.
Mr. Chairman, I recommend approval of Board Policy 4.700, testing programs, first and second reading.
You've heard the superintendent's recommendation. Do I hear a motion? Motion made by Ms. McLean, seconded by Ms. Webb. Dr. Borchers.
As the board is very familiar, I think this policy alone, I think, wins as the number of times it has come to this board for changes, but I'll let Dr. Williams share what this one is about.
Thank you. Yes, this year the State Board of Education made some updates and allowed districts to review the range that the potential weighting for TCAP and EOC scores. So the recommendation from our leaders and teachers is to maintain our current 15% weight for TCAP and EOC scores. But what we would like to change this year, and you've had some related documents that go into this in much greater detail, and Dr. Garner is here as well if you have additional questions, but we would like to change our methodology that's used to change the raw scores that are provided by the state into student grades. Previously, we used the standard deviation 10 model, and we would like to shift to the target score method. And as I said, if you have specific questions about the target score method, I'm going to phone a friend and ask Dr. Garner to come up and help out.
Comments or questions? Elaborate just a little bit, if you would, for us.
So with the standard deviation formula, we were using the Oak Ridge Schools mean score in each semester in fall and spring, and then calculating the Oak Ridge standard deviation and using a Z-score with a base of 85, which at the time when we formulated this, 85 was the lowest B. And students would receive a score based on whether their score was however many standard deviations above the mean it was, and it would be calculated that way. So what's ended up happening since we've gone to block scheduling is you have inequities in who takes the classes in which semester. Like they might have all their honors classes are in the spring semester. They might be misbalanced. There might be a year-long course for one subject and not another. So what ends up happening is when we're using our mean score, the mean scores are all off. So there's differences in how a student could score the same thing in the spring and the fall and receive a totally different TCAP score on their report card. So just kind of to correct that inequity and to actually base our students' scores from TCAP on state means, which benefits them because our means are always higher than the state's. So if we base it on the state mean, it benefits the students, and it makes our calculations a little bit easier to do as well.
Questions from the board? Thank you. The motion on the floor is Board Policy 4.700, testing programs, a first and second reading. Please cast your vote. Item passes unanimously. To item G, addition of a 1.0 FTE special education one-to-one teacher's assistant at Glenwood Elementary. Dr. Borchers.
Mr. Chairman, I recommend approval of a 1.0 FTE special education 1-to-1 TA at Glenwood Elementary.
For the superintendent's recommendation, do I hear a motion? Motion made by Ms. Webb, seconded by Ms. McLean. Dr. Borchers.
As the memo states there, we had a student move into the Oak Ridge schools with an IEP that stated that a 1-to-1 TA was being provided for safety reasons at the previous district. And Mr. Stoltz and his team reviewed those records, met with the family and student, and agree that a 1-to-1 TA is the most appropriate accommodation for the child to access the general education curriculum while staying safe.
Comments or questions? Well, since I'm leaving, and I'd do it anyway, here's a prime example of why public education is so important. I'm going to say that again. This is an example of why public education is so important. I'll let you ponder through that. Please cast your vote. Motion passes unanimously. And I might add to that, nobody gave us money to help pay for this student. It comes out of our budget to do that. The state didn't send us money to pay for this. We pay for it, and rightly so, and gladly so. Okay. Item H, RMS New Club Sports Media. Dr. Borchers.
Mr. Chairman, I recommend approval of the Sports Media Club at Robertsville Middle School.
For the superintendent's recommendation, do I hear a motion?
Second?
Motion made by Dr. Hartman, seconded by Ms. Agel. Dr. Borchers.
I think this is a really neat club idea, given the success of the high school's program. I'll go ahead and read the purpose here. The purpose of this club is for the students to photograph sporting events, edit photographs, and publish them. The club will be run as a companion to Mrs. Lefwich's production class in the STEM room. Students will learn photography skills and media skills that will feed into the high school sports media program. They'll also learn skills needed in potential careers in media in the future. So I'm just very excited to see like I said, the strength of the high school program, and now to have this as a feeder to that is really great.
Comments or questions? When we, this is kind of a little off topic, but when we had the Robertsville kids here that were talking about their production and their TV production and all that, I inadvertently left out that Miss Webb actually was a part of the initial programming at Robertsville and served as a news anchor.
Nice.
And sports news anchor did that. So I apologize for leaving that out. You thought I would forget that, didn't you? Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, please cast your vote. Motion carries unanimously. Moving to item I, purchase of bleachers for softball field renovation. Dr. Borchers.
Mr. Chairman, I recommend approval of the purchase of new bleachers for the softball field renovation project from Toadvine Enterprises in the amount of $44,428.
For the superintendent's recommendation, do I hear a motion? Motion made by Ms. Webb, seconded by Dr. Hartman. Dr.
And
Borchers.
as you can see from the memo, the bleachers will be delivered for installation prior to the softball season starting.
Comments or questions?
Mr.
Just a quick update where we are with this project.
We had our first pre-construction meeting today. I was on site today. They've actually started grading on the back, all the grasses out of the back outfield, all the fences down, all the structures are down, and they're pulling up the foundations and footers of those current structures. According to the contractor, we anticipate having concrete poured by the end of next week, weather permitting. Week after next, so 2 weeks. And they're moving right along pretty fast.
Any questions while Ms. Webb?
Just real quick, is this non-elevated bleachers? How
These-
does that work?
That means the non-elevated bleachers means they're not built on a slope. They're actually platformed, so they actually be a concrete platform in which they will actually have riser to it.
I wondered that too. Thank you, Alan. Any other questions or comments? Please cast your vote. Motion passes unanimously. Next, we move to items for information. Our legislative liaison is Ms. Webb. She doesn't have a lot to do right at the moment, but come January, we'll have a little bit more to do. But as we continue about items that are being introduced, being formulated for when the session begins in January. Unless you do have something that I'm not aware of. Okay, thank you. All right, Mr. Lay, enrollment and attendance reports.
Yes, sir. We will look at enrollment first. If you compare our enrollment today to this time last year, we are up 30 students. If you compare our enrollment today to the last day of school in May of 24, we are up 31 students. So that number is pretty close, okay? And we're just seeing, just slow new students coming to Oak Ridge schools, but we're also losing students, and we're sort of amazed, given 2 years ago, why this number appears to just be so low. But anyway, we're still studying that. The most important part of today is the attendance. And I did an average of the elementary schools had an excellent month. You can tell by the graph we did not have a epidemic of the flu or stomach virus or something like that. I mean, attendance looks good, but our elementaries are around 4%. If you add all 7 schools together, our attendance is at 4.9%. If you remember, we started doing this because Mr. Eby asked me, where's the data, okay? And I don't have the data from 4 or 5 years ago, but I'm quite confident our average attendance was somewhere around 7.5%. So once again, I want to continue to brag on our attendance teams out there in the schools. They are doing a tremendous job. Attendance is improving. I would love to see the day where honestly our average stayed around 4% every month. Now, we want 100% of students there, but if you think about it, if you have 4 out of 100 that are sick, that's probably considered life, okay? So that's good. So anyway, so we're doing well there. So at this time, we will recognize our winners. And this week is different, okay? So if our individual trophies will come forward, please.
Which one are you starting with?
Oh, let's start with students, okay? Okay, and this is for the 3rd attendance reporting period. An honorable mention goes to Glenwood Elementary. Let's give them a hand, please. And the winner is Woodland Elementary. Congratulations, Mr. Hobby. And those children have been coming to school without heat. They're doing a great job. Okay, actually, we do have electric heaters in place, space heaters. Okay, the reporting or the attendance reporting period for the staff is a little different this time, okay? And I will explain this. I'm going to start with a different category first. The way I do the math is I look at basically the percentage of absences for staff during the reporting period. Then I look at the percentage of staff that is at the school. So in other words, if a school has 30% of the Oak Ridge staff and they have 35% of the absences, they get a negative 5.0, okay, because they were just above the district average. Well, I figured out this month this doesn't always work. We had a school with perfect attendance. Now, we only track basically absences due to sickness, so taking a sick day. So I do want to say the Perfect Attendance Award, and there's no award anyway, it goes to SCA for earning the Perfect Attendance Award. This is the first time we've ever had that. Let's give them a hand. So since the way I calculate this didn't work for SCA, Ms. Laurendine and I will be providing cookies. You'll see those on Wednesday, sir, for your staff, okay? And that's really better than a trophy. You can eat that, all right? Okay, all right, back to the normal. Honorable mention, congratulations to the preschool in Glenwood for a great staff attendance month. Honorable mention. And that is twice for the preschool, and honestly, Miss Down and I would have conversations and she would just shake your head. It's never going to happen, but anyway, it's happening, Miss Downer. Congratulations. The winner is Jefferson Middle School, best staff attendance. Thank you.
Thank you, man. We're happy to have that trophy back. So.
And also would like to note that we had 466 staff members with perfect attendance. That represents 63.9% of our staff. And I know some of those folks came to school probably not feeling their best, but they were committed to doing what's best for students, and they made it. So congratulations, and we appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Ms. Van Dyke, anything exciting going on down in financials?
No, we're getting ready to start budget. Yay.
That's pretty exciting. Welcome new board members.
That's right.
Thank you. Moving to items from discussion. Any old business? Before we move to new business, just a couple of final comments that I alluded to when I was trying to talk. Melissa, you came in and took the position first as Mr. Lay's executive assistant. And then when Ms. Lynn Lammerhurt decided to retire, you moved across the way and became the executive assistant of Dr. Borchers. And I know you will agree with this statement. Lynn set a very high standard precedent when she left. And I just want to tell you, you have been extremely successful in providing this board up-to-date things that we need, keeping us so we don't forget where we're supposed to be and when we're supposed to be there. It's been an honor to work with you and have you in this position. And I know the other board members will say the same thing, so thank you very much. Dave Kolodny, are you back there? Just stand up for a minute. Dave is the one that keeps us on the air, keeps us electronically moving forward, so all those watching can see the things that are taking place educationally in Oak Ridge. He and his student staff at Wildcat Television produce the board's TV show called Focus on Education. Dave, you are instrumental to what this board is able to do, both here and at Wildcat TV. So thank you so much for doing that as well. Now, here is my challenge to you folks sitting right here. And I can't take credit for this, but I'm paraphrasing it a little bit. But this is my challenge to you. When we were at TSBA convention, Inky Johnson was one of our speakers. I don't know if you've ever heard him speak or not, but if you have, I know you were amazed at the message he has. If you haven't, and you ever have the opportunity, you don't want to let it go by. But he left us with these words, and I paraphrased a little bit. As educators, it's not what we reap. It's the seeds that we sow. Keep sowing seeds. That's my challenge to you. Now, with that said, our newly sworn-in judge, Mr. Jimmy Norman, is here. If you'd come on up, Your Honor. Would invite our newly elected board members and their families to come forward. Ms. Ashley Craven and Ms. Mary Crank And you will be officially sworn in with your oath as a board member and take your duly elected seat as a member of the Oak Ridge Board of Education. I will pass the gavel over to my vice chair, who at the conclusion of this will finish us up and adjourn the meeting. And Molly, what's the best place to put them when he does this?
Where would you like me to stand this way? Facing this way? Facing that. In front of the podium, facing this way.
And thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I know the clerk is out of town and got you to come, and I appreciate you doing this. I thought she was going to send it to your. I have it. I can go get it if you can delay things for just a minute. Oh yeah, yeah. Let me go get it because this is not the oath this time. But I will have it in 1 minute. Well, that would be important to have the oath.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You can be figuring out which ones are the new board members. Exactly. A star is born.
He was Elvis for Halloween.
First duty of swearing in as a judge has been a little awry. But I do say it's indeed an honor and a privilege to swear you in. My parents all went to Oak Ridge High School. I went to Oak Ridge High School, and my children went to Oak Ridge High School. So to be on this board is an honor. To be replacing, I ran up to my car. To replace Keys and Angie are big shoes to fill. And it's exciting to be able to take this role, and we appreciate all you do. First of all, Ashley, I'm going to give you the oath. You'll repeat after me. I, Ashley Craven, sincerely swear that I possess all of the qualifications prescribed for the position of Oak Ridge Board of Education member. As prescribed by the Charter of the City of Oak Ridge, Tennessee.
As prescribed by the Charter of the Oak Ridge City of Tennessee.
And that I will support the Constitution.
And that I will support the Constitution.
And the laws of the City of Oak Ridge, Tennessee.
And the laws of the City of the Oak Ridge, Tennessee.
And obey the laws of the United States and of the State of Tennessee.
And obey the laws of the United States and the State of Tennessee.
And that I will, in all respects, observe the provisions of the Charter and the ordinances of the City of Oak Ridge, Tennessee.
Observe the provisions of the charters and the ordinances of the City of Oak Ridge, Tennessee.
And that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the position of Oak Ridge City Board of Education member.
And I will faithfully discharge the duties as an Oak Ridge City Board of Education member.
This 18th day of November, 2024.
This 18th day of November, 2024.
You are officially sworn in. Thank you. Congratulations. And you ready? I, Mary Crank, solemnly swear that I possess all of the qualifications prescribed for the position of Oak Ridge Board of Education member. Position of Oak Ridge. Good enough. As prescribed by the Charter of the City of Oak Ridge, Tennessee. And that I will support the Constitution. And will obey the laws of the United States and of the state of Tennessee. And that I will, in all respects, observe the provisions of the Charter and ordinances of the City of Oak Ridge, Tennessee. And that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the position of Oak Ridge City Board of Education member. Good enough. This 18th day of November 2024, you duly sworn in, and congratulations.
I just wanted to say thank you to Angie and Keys for the time that they've given to this board and for being such an inspiration and being extremely helpful. Dr. Borscher is extremely helpful anytime, when I was running and I really wanted to run an educated campaign on what our schools are doing, on what our achievements are, what our strengths are as a board, and what our long-term goals are. And you all have been phenomenal, and those are some very big shoes to fill. But I look forward to the challenge of trying to be able to do it, and I hope we do you proud. Thank you.
Okay, next is communications. On December 4th, the board will be visiting Willowbrook at 8 a.m. December 11th, we'll be having a board retreat where we'll be concentrating on board member orientation. And then January 13th will be our next Board of Education meeting.
And I would be amiss if I didn't say, thanks to all of those millions of people who have been watching all of our board meetings.
It's with a heavy heart, but I declare this meeting adjourned. Thank you.